Hey guys, my name is Andrea and I'm here today with...
Hi, I'm Luke from Hope Rehab.
We're going to talk about the mechanics of addiction today. So basically, what is addiction? Luke, for the longest time, I really had troubles. In my family, I have a few alcoholics. I was really struggling with that. And I always judged them like they're just like weak characters, right? Because they could decide not to pick up that bottle. And coming from that, I always judged any addict really, really harshly. But I learned that this is not what addiction is about. It's not just being weak, right?
Yes, what we've come to find is that it's a brain disease. Not a character trait, but a brain disease. And so there's a feedback loop in the brain called the dopamine reward system. We've come to find that addiction is a brain disease. There is a feedback system in the brain called the dopamine pathway. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, and it's associated with pleasure and reward. It's a survival instinct. It encourages us to live a healthy life, plan ahead, prepare for rainy days as such. Yeah.
Sounds really cool, but so what's the problem with that system?
Humans have found ways to get quick rewards. So there's quick ways to get a dopamine boost, and that can be through drugs or alcohol, social media, gambling, flirting. And what can happen over time is that we get addicted to those quick rewards. And when we are addicted to those quick rewards, the long-term goals can fall away. And they can then seem unachievable. They can seem so far away that the only way to get that dopamine reward is through these quick rewards. And that's when goals change, priorities change, and drugs and alcohol become the main focus.
I see. But so how do people get out of this loop? It sounds pretty serious.
It can seem very hard to break, yes, to the people that are in addiction and to the people around them. As you said, you were speaking about people in addiction and you couldn't fathom why they wouldn't just stop.
Yes.
And so it takes a long time to get to that level of brain disease, many years of chasing quick rewards. So the way to get out of it is to break the cycle. People can try and break the cycle by themselves, but often they need to come to treatment, to come out of their home environment, come out of their home city and have a fresh start. And at Hope we have a busy program that includes meditation, mindfulness, counselling, to look within and begin to process emotion and process the way that we feel, and exercise, which actually releases natural dopamines. The routine here will help you break out of your old routine and show you how to build a new healthy routine.
So you said this whole cycle, the negative one, that of quick dopamine boosts, that only happens when you have addiction for many, many years? Or is it like, oh, I take one drug and then I'm already in that cycle?
It happens over a long period of time. To begin chasing these quick rewards, we can slowly but surely let go of the long-term rewards. And slowly the motivation to live a healthy life can fall away, and the impulse and that instant fix becomes a priority.
So it's actually quite sly, right? So it kind of lures you in, because at the beginning you still have some long-term goals that give you these dopamine boosts, and they're mixed with the short-term boosts of addiction. And then
true.
The addiction becomes more dominant. Is that how it works?
Very, very true, yes. So slowly but surely the life of an addict can become focused on taking drugs and alcohol. Slowly but surely the healthy aspects of life fall away. And then it can seem really hopeless to try and build those long-term goals again, because they can seem so far away. So yeah, it catches a lot of people unaware.
So I imagine that once you would have decided, okay, maybe I need help to break that cycle, and you come to treatment, it's still going to be so dull for like a few weeks. Like I don't get my dopamine boost. So what's the motivation? How do you motivate people here to try all these things that you're offering and hope that at one point they're going to release enough dopamine for an addict to be happy again without the drugs?
That's a good point. I think what we need to really focus on here is the brain is amazing. It's more complicated than we'll ever know. A few days of good sleep, proper hydration, eating well, and being in a community surrounded by people who are all focused on their own recovery, who are all focused on in getting well. The brain quickly gets back into gear. It's not a hopeless situation. It might seem like it is, but it's certainly not a hopeless situation.
Okay, let's say I'm a heroin addict or an alcoholic, and I'm in treatment and I'm trying to focus on all these things, but they're still like in everyday life now. We post on Facebook or Instagram, and we do get these little dopamine boosts, and this is kind of interfering with stuff because it gives us these little boosts in between that we're trying to get away from. So how hard is it to withstand, like, once you have like, oh, I'm in rehab Facebook post or whatever, a nice picture of a cat and it gets like 100 likes and you have that boost again, and then to withstand, because you just could go down the road of short dopamine boosts again.
There always will be short dopamine boosts, that's for sure. But what we find is that when people come to recovery, come to Life at Hope, they begin to form connections. They begin to feel the long-term goals come back. And once they come back, they're a lot more alluring than these short-term goals. So once they begin to reconnect with people, to link in with people from all around the world that have similar problems, one of the big part about is sharing with like-minded people. So often in addiction, right near the end, leading up to a rock bottom, people feel quite isolated. They feel quite alone, and that really withdraws that person. So to then be surrounded in a community of people who are sober and people who are getting sober, it restores hope. It restores a confidence that there is meaning to life, that there is a way out, that there is a possibility. The human spirit is amazing. It can endure many, many things. And once we give it that opportunity to wake up again, it really takes charge, and people wake up to a healthy life in 1 month or 2 months.
So that is definitely possible in that short of time span to wake up.
It most certainly is, yeah. The human spirit, amazing.
I really like the focus on community and connection. Is that the cure for addiction?
There's a lot of work out there actually that says the opposite of addiction is connection. And connection offers us meaning in life and value. And when that connection is so strong we wouldn't dare disrupt it, it becomes the new priority. And it takes time. There are hurdles, yes.
Because connection or relationships can also mean setback, can mean getting hurt again, right?
Short-term relationships and unhealthy relationships, yes, they can be a setback. And learning what a healthy relationship is a big part of treatment here at Hope. So to condense everything that we've discussed, addiction is a brain disease where the brain and the person have become focused on short rewards. Recovery is about building long-term goals, finding healthy rewards, and living a happy, balanced life.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Okay. This was
Luke.
and Andrea from Hope Rehab. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.